Oh, hello there, and welcome to Maker's Therapy. Your session will begin soon. Enjoy. Oh, and one last thing. These knuckleheads are not therapists. This show is for entertainment purposes only. If you think you do have a mental health disorder, please seek the help of a medical professional. Cheerio.
Oh, I forgot the music. There's music at the end. Forgot about that. So here we are. I'm dying. Why do I always take a drink like down the wrong pipe? Whew. All right, sorry about that. So, so the reason I can't lose any weight, I've decided. The reason I can't lose any weight is because my kids eat like shit. It drives me nuts. Like, so, well, and the dog. So Paige was making some hamburger stuff tonight, and she turned her back, and the dog ate like a pound of ground beef off the counter. So naturally, we have to go to McDonald's because like we don't have anything else ready to go. So I just like shoved down 3 like McDonald's hamburgers before I got on here, and that is why I'm not losing weight. Has nothing to do with the biz. So how you doing, Chris?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's been a
How is
decent week.
how's business? I've seen you posting quite a bit lately.
Oh yeah, no, things are good. Things are busy. I gotta post more. Right now I'm working on a couple epoxy pours. I was prepping one
Nice.
today. Be ready to pour tomorrow. It'll be a big like 6-foot long charcuterie board. So that'll be fun just because I've done like a couple of charcuterie boards, but to do one on a big scale is I don't know. The idea was appealing to me, so that's why I agreed to do the project.
I saw a dude on TikTok do a. I mean, he was dressing the board. He was like the board was already made, but he was doing it, and it was something ridiculous like that. It was monstrous. And, like my wife took a class, like a little, how to like decorate a charcuterie board. She's like, that would take forever.
Yeah,
But it looked pretty cool.
yeah, it should be fun. What are you working on?
Let's see. I'm getting ready to drop a. Tomorrow I'll be dropping the 40-watt X-Tool D1 Pro review. Hey, Jesse.
Hi.
Hi. And I just got that wrapped up. Like was literally sitting here kind of like editing horrible thumbnails and all that good stuff. So that's going to be my next video. It should drops tomorrow at 11, I believe.
Nice.
So what bourbon? You said you're drinking scotch, right?
Yep.
Chris?
Yep.
I'm drinking a little bullet bourbon. For those that are asking, drinking the Fighting Cock, baby. And then Jesse, as usual, is working on one of those claws.
White Claw.
Yeah.
So Jesse, what are you working on?
Around here?
You what?
Someone's got to be basic around here.
There you go. So what are you working on, Jesse?
Well, I was working at work on the disastrous flooding issue. So I was repairing drywall on the ceiling, which was. So
did you flood again? I know that you had to like get up on the roof and fix something.
I didn't actually fix it. We had somebody else come and like fix one of the, I don't know, some pipe up there, but it's a flat roof. It's Washington. It's just a dumb thing to do. So when it snowed, all the snow like backlogged and just started dumping into this room from the ceiling. So I went in and like tore an old patch panel out because this isn't the first time it's happened. So I pulled out an old patch panel, drilled a couple holes, just tried to like maintain like the water situation. But I had put a patch panel back up and done the first coat of mud on it. and then it was like back to work and everything got really busy. So the the opportunities looked horrible for like a couple months now. So my boss is out of town, so I was like, well, I'm gonna finish this since I have to be here anyways.
There you go.
So
All right.
it looks pretty okay.
Good deal. Did you want to talk at all about WorkbenchCon?
When do I not want to talk about WorkbenchCon?
I know, right? So I didn't know about the boots until I got home.
Really?
Yeah. I had no idea about the boots until I saw your stories about the boots.
Well, I only wore them one night.
Right. No, I know, but I didn't. So I was like, oh, she had these boots on that everybody was signing, and nobody told me. Jesse.
I'm sorry. I was compared to a top, like when you spin a top and it's just
okay. It's not where I was going.
Oh God.
All right.
Get your mind out better. Yeah, I feel like I just kind of like buzzed around all weekend. So I had multiple people tell me, they're like, oh, look, we got you to hold still. Can we take a picture really quick? And I'm like, yeah, of course. And then I'm like off to the next thing. So there's just so many people to talk to. It was lovely.
There was a guy like 3D scanning people in the lobby, and I looked all over and I never saw him with his little scanner thing out. And now he's got a bunch of videos where he's scanning it, like he was doing it.
Are you going to Maker Camp?
So what?
Are you going to Maker Camp?
Which one is that? Is that the one in Catskills?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
Because he'll probably, I don't know. He might be sick of scanning after that. I think he said he scanned like something like 200 people. Like,
it was just funny because I never saw him do it. And he's posted all these videos where he's doing it. I'm like, okay. Like I looked for the guy on more than one occasion because I wasn't sure exactly who it was, but I never saw anybody get scanned.
I didn't either.
It's BS. It's BS. Anyway, but WorkbenchCon was a good time. Chris, we got to get you there one year.
Yeah, I would love that. It'd be fun.
And are you going to Maker Camp, Jesse?
Yep.
Do you have a place to stay already?
No. I'll probably
trying to hammer that out.
Well, I know there's options. There's worst case scenario, I'll just tent camp, which I don't mind that. But my friend Brittany from Workbench,
Carbone. Sorry.
She's not a big drinker, so it is an option to get an Airbnb, and then she wouldn't have a problem like driving from there. I know a lot of people are like, don't leave, especially if you're drinking. That's not a good deal, and which I think that's a terrible idea too. But if I have somebody that I trust to drive me, then I don't mind staying off site.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's the whole thing, man. Like somebody's like telling me I should go, and it sounds pretty cool, but then it's like trying to figure out like the logistics of everything is crazy. And also, I thought for some reason I thought the tickets to that thing were like a couple $1,000. And they're not by any means, but I swear when that camp first started, it was super expensive. And it must have been something else that I was thinking of, but
maybe. I think the tickets are cheaper than WorkbenchCon.
Well, yeah, because it's like you can get you can get a hotel and ticket or whatever, weekend pass or whatever for like $500 or $600. Like it's super cheap. It's just like trying to figure out because you got to fly into. I can't remember where you're gonna fly into, but you gotta fly into like someplace in New York, and then it's like an hour drive and stuff like that. I'm just like, okay. So I'm trying to figure out who else is going because the guy that I know that's going, Ethan Carter, I was like, oh cool, I'll hook up with him. Well, he's so close, he's just driving.
Yeah.
I was like, man, come on.
I think I'm gonna fly into Boston. I did a terrible accent. Brittany does it better than me. But
he's from Boston.
She is from Boston. I think I'll fly into Boston, and then I think we're gonna drive. And she said it's like a 3-hour drive, so that's not really bad at all.
Yeah.
And then I can spend a day with her too.
Aw.
No.
Aw. She started a YouTube channel.
She did.
I saw that. I gotta go subscribe.
It's just short so far, I think, but.
Yeah. Well, Kristen Sawdust did the same thing. She started a YouTube channel to do shorts. I don't know if she started just to do shorts, but she's doing shorts for him. Probably because she can like recycle her Instagram content. She said something weird about like Instagram's done creators wrong. She didn't like. I didn't hear the reasoning behind it.
Oh, Meta's done with us.
Well, I've been done with Meta for a long time. Well, okay, so here's the deal. I made a shirt a long time ago. You just see it on the channel every once in a while. That says "Coffee Slut" on it because I like coffee that much, and I don't think that "slut" is the baddest of bad words, which is my own damn fault. But I ran an ad on Facebook advertising my Coffee Slut shirt, and they flagged that's the only thing I can think of because it's the only thing that's bad about it. But they flagged it. They have they completely banned me from posting ads on Facebook, and so that goes to Instagram too. I can't post any I can't monetize anything on Instagram. And the thing is, when I contest it, all I get is a canned response back saying, and it says something ridiculous like, due to multiple violations. And I'm like, this is the only thing I ever did. Like, it's not like I posted it a bunch of different times. And the thing was, like, I started a secondary page with different shirts and stuff on it. And I even took that page down. So that page isn't there, but it's tied to my name. And so I can't start any other, like if I start another page, it's still tied to my name. So I just can't do anything. And there's no way to get anybody to talk to like have them fix it in any fashion.
I heard, I can't remember who it was. Somebody got their account suspended. And it was kind of the same situation. It was like the account got suspended and then she didn't have access to even like her personal stuff because everything, all of your accounts are all tied back to like the one primary. So somehow she got in with somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody. And
well, the thing is,
so
somebody told me they're like, go to this page, like go into this menu and and you get to this one page and down at the bottom there's a thing, and if you click it you can talk to a person. If I go to that page, there's no thing to click on the bottom. So they've already like locked me out of that too. So I'm
they're mad at you.
Yeah. The sluts.
Don't be such a slut and you'd be fine.
I know, right? I know. Does that mean I should put out more or less?
More.
Always more.
See if you can get kicked off of Etsy too.
Dude, don't start.
Does Etsy stretch?
I almost got kicked off of Etsy too.
Oh man.
Because I started a fight with the Etsy people. And they don't take very kindly to that. They just like continue to like extend you out. So I was on my way to being a star seller, and then some stuff went down that I don't really want to get into. And so they emailed me, and I'll sell it. I had made I made a keychain that said Hellfire Club, and it had the logo from Stranger Things on it. And I submitted it, and it came back, and it said it was flagged for copyright. And so I went and I made a completely different design. It doesn't look anything like the thing from the show. And I put Hellfire Club on it and all this stuff, and I posted it, and it flagged that one too, and it says a copyright. And so I contacted them. I'm like, well, you have to explain to me why. I can go on to Etsy, and I can type in Hellfire Club, and I can find the exact, like, people with shirts and mugs and all sorts of stuff that has that exact logo on it from the show. My logo doesn't look anything like that. It's got like a 20-sided dice in the middle of it, and like, just it's totally different. But you're flagging mine, and they're like, well, we can't speak to copyright. And I'm like, well, so who do I need to talk to? And they're like, Netflix. Now, who's gonna return my call at Netflix? Anyway, so I was going off on them. I'm like, I have to be able to talk to somebody that handles your copyright issues, because this doesn't make any sense. And so what they did was they would just kind of can response me, but then my star seller thing would get extended like 30 more days before I could do it. So I finally had to leave him alone. Bastard.
Oh dear.
If I get too popular or famous, I'm burning this whole motherfucker.
Yeah, you get booted off YouTube too.
Huh?
So don't say that. You get booted off YouTube too.
I know, right? So we got the Dad Cave in here. Let's see. What's up, Matt? I think I already said. I think you were here, but Bullet Bourbon. What did I do now, Nick? There's no telling. There's no telling. And what's up, Ken? Tonight we're talking about stress, something that pretty much drives my entire life. So, have I told you guys? Got to remind me because I have a shit memory. Have I told the me quitting my day job story on here? Like how I went full time?
I don't think so on this.
I don't think
Okay.
so on this. I feel like we know it because we know you, but
Well, you guys, I mean, I see. The thing is, I tell that story all the time. I don't know if I told it here, but it directly relates into like stress and things like that. So I was, for those of you that don't know, I was an insurance adjuster for like 11 or 12 years. And when I started doing it, like it was cool. Like I felt like I was helping people and stuff like that. Once you kind of get into a little bit more of insurance, which I don't really want to like do a deep dive on that, but you realize that like a lot of it's kind of it's shady. Let's put it that way. And I worked for a big company. I worked for Allstate, and it's like like they kind of hide behind the guise of like really trying to help people out when it's like actually we're just really trying to make money. Anyway, so once you kind of see that that's what the process is, it kind of makes going to work kind of shitty because then you just feel like you're perpetuating this. So a couple of years ago, well, shit, 5 or 6 now, I started having real bad stomach problems. And I thought I had like an ulcer or something. So I went to the doctor and they ran all sorts of different tests, ultrasounds and MRIs and colonoscopies and all that good stuff. And the last thing was the colonoscopy. So they do the old camera thing, and he comes back and he's like, man, he's like, you're like basically clean as a whistle. Like there's nothing. Like at that point in time, I really thought it was ulcers, and I was I had ulcers someplace, and he's like, you're totally good. And then he kind of pulled me aside and he was like, hey, he's like, there's really only one other thing I can think of. And he's like, it could just be stress. And so I talked to the wife, and I'd already planned on going full time on YouTube. I just hadn't hit my like where I wanted to be monetarily. But we talked about it. We're like, if we cancel like some stuff and we don't go out so much and whatnot, we could probably handle this. So I went and I wrote my 2-week notice or whatever, and I went and I quit my job a couple days later, and immediately my stomach issues just went away, like just gone. Like the right after the words came out of my mouth, and it's like the one time that I can say without a doubt that I did the right thing. Like I made the right decision. That was it. Like I could just feel it. It was just gone because I had this like stabbing pain in my stomach all the time, and it's just like stopped. Anyway, so it turns out it was stress, and it's kind of funny now because as this becomes more of a business, and as I have more pain points and things like that, like I get a little bit of a stomach pain on again. But it's stress. I now I know how to deal with it a little bit better. And the thing is, I do really enjoy what I do, which helps. As like when you're going to a job that you hate, and that job is what's like kind of causing you that issue, it's kind of hard to get out of that kind of feedback loop, which is what I was stuck in. And it was just like I couldn't get out of the office I was in without moving, and just all sorts of crazy stuff like that. Anyway, so everybody should quit their job. That's what I'm getting
Amen.
No, I mean, but like sometimes like stress manifests itself in really weird ways. Like I thought I had like a serious health issue and it was stress.
Yeah.
So you guys have stress in your lives as well.
Chris, I want to hear about your stress.
My stress, yeah. No, I kind of, I guess, touching on that stress has different effects. Yeah, I guess when I was at my previous job before I, quit to get into to woodworking and making stuff, yeah, the stress of that job and just I was working probably close to like over 60 hours a week at this job, and it was like not very little reward and a lot of stress. So I ended up actually getting geez, this would be about 5 years ago. I got a stomach ulcer pretty bad.
Ooh.
And the doctor was asking me about, oh, what's going on in your life, all these questions, and basically it came down to that stress had been the reason that it's such a young person would develop a stomach ulcer, which I thought was insane, but yeah, it's crazy the impact stress has on your body.
Oh yeah.
And then now like I love making stuff. I really love being creative, but there are still stresses of being a maker. For me, there was this one project from hell. I just every step something went wrong. It was this stupid TV unit, and when I had milled all the material for it, I left for the night, and the roof in the shop leaked that night onto the material. It sucked up all this water. The material warped, so I couldn't use it. So I had to mill new material. Then I assembled it, and then I went to stain it. And at some point, something had gotten set on top that had like a chemical residue on the bottom. So when I stained it, there was a big part in like the middle of the top that did not take stain. And what was the other thing that happened with that thing? There was a coating phase. So it was for the final coat of clear coat, and another guy was using the spray booth. Then I said, hey, if you don't mind, while you're in there, could you just put the final coat on this TV unit? Then it's done. I don't got to worry about it. And he put the coat on, and he wasn't paying attention, and it like drips everywhere over the entire TV unit. I had to resand the whole thing, stain and clear coat again, and I was like, please just die, project, please.
please just go away.
Does that sound familiar, Nick?
Huh? Yes, it does actually.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't that bad. And but what sucks about what Chris is saying is that like the last part, he didn't mess that up. Somebody else did. I'd be pissed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but it's just I guess project failures are pretty stressful, especially when I bid on like give people quotes for it's gonna cost this much, and when I fuck up or a mistake happens, that's coming out of my pocket. Yep. So that's the stressful thing. But otherwise I'd say being a maker is a ton of fun. I really enjoy it. It's just sometimes you can't avoid failure. You just got to power through it, but it's just getting through it, because that project I needed to walk away from a lot. It took way longer than it should have.
So Jesse, tell us about your stress.
Well, I mean, Chris talking about that project just fully reminds me of the record cabinet build and how many times I had to walk away from that and how frustrated I would get with that. I guess I feel like stress as a maker is like a twofold thing. There's definitely like the personal life side of trying to like maintain relationships and a family and household and all of those things while trying to do what you want to do. And I know for you guys being like full time now, I'm like envious of that. I'm not there yet, but I would like to be. But yeah, I mean, we're, my stress got decreased when I decided to switch from, working in a corporate practice to working in a private practice and only working 3 days a week. So that's been a super positive thing. Balance still sucks. I mean, that's a stress for me all of the time. Balancing, being in the shop, the kids, the animals, the house, the partner, all of the things. It's not easy, and it catches up with me sometimes, and that can be, it just makes me feel like shit, honestly. But yeah, coming back to like the maker side of it, I guess, I think maker stress for me a lot is, bidding pieces, like Chris was saying. It's like you stress over, somebody wants something, they want something custom or one off, and it's like, how do you price this? How do I make my time worth it? And then you stress when you have to send that bid out and hope and pray that they accept it, which sometimes it goes good and sometimes it just doesn't. But yeah, making the time to then do those projects, especially like the record cabinet, which was such a huge build and so frustrating and mentally exhausting for me. That was challenging.
So I would say the whole full-time thing for me, what sucks about that is, and Chris, I'm assuming you can relate. I don't clock out ever. Like it's always like my job is always on my mind to a certain degree. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I love what I do, but they say you quit your 40-hour a week job to work 24/7, and that's kind of what it is. And the thing that sucks is I have a hard time turning that off to like the extent that like my wife's birthday was a couple days ago, and I was literally like a couple days before that, I'm like, baby, like I have zero ideas for like a present for you. I'm like, what do you want? And I just never do that. I always kind of like I always have something kind of loaded up, and it just kind of feels a little shitty to have realized that I was so concentrating on doing like basically work stuff that I hadn't given her birthday as much of like a thought as I normally would. And I think that's where my stress comes from now, and I have kind of no way to, well, I shouldn't say I don't have, I have not found a good way to deal with that yet. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But it kind of sucks, man. And then we got here, and then so we can all feel better about ourselves. Brandy says, I'm a psych nurse by history, the only RN taking care of a medium, maximum, large prison for 7 years. I had depression before that, and doing that and did me zero favors. Excuse me. Job stress can impact long term, which is, oh yeah, absolutely. And good on you, Brady, for being a psych nurse in a prison.
Brandy.
What?
Brandy.
Okay. Did I not say Brandy?
You said
Did
Brandy. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm sorry. Yes, I meant Brandy. So Robert says he just tells the wife it's laser time. I used to be able to do that, but now I'm like, that's the other thing about being like a content creator, not just a maker, is it's like, okay, I can't just go, like, if I want to just go make something really quick in the shop, I'm like, should I get the camera out? Like, should I film this? And everybody always says, oh yeah, you should totally film everything you make. And I'm like, but it takes me so much longer to build something if I'm recording it as well.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just gotta not, like home improvement stuff. I tried for a while to, like, anytime I was going to do like a home improvement project, to try to record it. I'm like, I just can't, man. I want to be able to bang this out in a weekend.
Yeah.
And I can't when I'm, moving the camera around and stuff like that.
Exactly. I think it's, I mean, we're talking about like maker stress, but I think maker stress and content creator stress are two different things. I found like I got asked last night on the live, what does the next like 3-6 months to a year look like for you? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to kind of figure out, how many projects I want to take on for like customers, what projects I want to do for myself. Cause I mean, there's content to be made just working on my own house at this point. But there's also like paid partnerships and things like that I've been taking on a little bit more of. So I'm trying to kind of find that balance. But I mean, that means like, within a day I could be, emailing with 2 or 3 different people and, and then there's connecting with people on Instagram. And then there's, there's all these different aspects. So it's hard to really explain that even with, Robert the Beard is just like
Did you just call him Robert's Beard?
Robert the Beard. Everyone calls him the Beard. So I don't know. Even if I try to explain it to him, though, it's like, what am I going to sit and be like, oh, this person messaged me and this person messaged me and I'm emailing with this brand and blah, 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 blah. Like, it's just a lot. And so I tend to like not give full details about everything that's going on until maybe it's a done deal. Because there's a lot of things that come up that, never become anything at all. But it just seems like a lot. So I just I take that on myself and I just keep it to myself, which maybe isn't healthy. I don't know.
Yeah, you learn after a while just to not, things can fall apart so fast.
Yeah.
Like I've had like solid deals that just like evaporated in a minute. And I'd already told people about it. And I'm like, you just find out, like, you just realize until that piece of content has been made and approved and is ready to go out, just don't tell anybody. Because then it's like, it's people like, hey, what happened to that thing? And I'm like, oh, there's a slight hiccup.
But do you tell your wife like every little thing that you're working on? Exactly.
No. I mean, like she gets kind of a brief overview. I mean, honestly, if you watch my stories on Instagram, you would probably know more than she does because, I'm kind of updating, oh, I'm going to go do this. And, like she comes home and or like we talk about our day a little bit, but, we got the kids, we put the kids to bed and then we like want to hang out for a little bit. The last thing you want to do is sit there and talk about your job all day.
Yeah, true.
All right, I'm getting so Robert says that he's happy to be retired because he doesn't have any timelines. First time I read that, I thought he said tan lines. Dude. Let's see. Boyfriend walked away from his business partner at a loss. He was going to walk away or go insane. I feel that. I actually there's a girl on my Discord channel that, dude, her boss is crazy. I don't know how she still works for him. Let's see. 10. My wife and I run a Silicon Mill business in addition to running a nonprofit makerspace. That whole not being able to clock out thing, yeah, it definitely wears you down. Man, like I've said this before, like even when I go on vacation, and I tell everybody I'm going on vacation, but that doesn't stop the emails and stuff coming in. And if I ignore those, because that's what I would do with my job, right? I would just put it like a do not disturb or whatever on, and I would ignore them until I came back. But there's nobody else around to answer those emails, man. So like when I get back, I just have a shit ton of emails to read. So I do them when I'm on vacation. I might answer you very quickly, or I do put stuff in folders to like handle later. But it makes my life easier to work while I'm on vacation than it does to put it all up. Let's see. And then Ken says, do you have any recommendation for task management, paper, whiteboard, Google Sheets software? I've been using, is it Monday? I say that, I can't remember the name of it now. It's Monday. I've been using Monday to schedule some stuff, and it works for me because it like the free version, like you pay the more users that are on it, and so but the paid or the free version is just like I think it's just one person or two people, and so it's just me. So I like it's all free for me. It's a lot more robust than I really need, Ken. And not to say, I mean, it could work for you, but check it out at least. It allows you to go in and like put projects in, and then you can like kind of bullet point underneath those projects and formulate timelines. So I've been trying to use that because before, like, I've always just either had a pad of paper that I write everything on, or more recently, it's my iPad and I write everything in there. But the problem is, like, I'll write a bunch of video ideas down, and then like 4 or 5 pages later, I don't even remember that those are there anymore. So I needed to have something that was like more like in my face. So this app, like, I go check it, and that's the only thing that's on there is kind of my workflow stuff. So if I have, like if I put a video idea on there and it was, I put it on 3 months ago, it's still there, like I can still see it. And then the other thing I use is this guy, which is a timer. And I set this for what I do with workflow stuff is I set this usually for like 30 minutes. And then I just hit it and it just counts down. And when this thing goes off, I know that I got to stop whatever I'm doing. Or I know that I at least have to make a decision on whether I'm going to stop what I'm doing or if I'm going to do 30 more minutes.
It's like an easy button. It's like an easy button.
It is like an easy button. But I just like it because it's a big button that I can whack and carry it around. And I actually want to put a magnet on the back so I can stick it on stuff downstairs. But it tends to work because the thing is, like when I'm talking about doing email, if I'm answering emails, I could stop answering emails at a certain time and just do those the next day, right? But if I get too hung up on my emails, I'll sit there and I'll answer emails all day. And then I don't get out in the shop, and and then other stuff doesn't get done. So that 30 minutes is like super helpful for time management. Let's see. Matt is 17 years in law enforcement. I try my best to use the maker job as my stress relief. See, that's the thing too, man. Like getting out in the garage used to be my stress relief, but now it's kind of, I mean, it still is, but it's also work.
You have to balance that with like doing stuff that you want to do. And I think that's what I've struggled with is, still being employed. I started making because it was enjoyable. And then I started taking on too much for other people. And I mean, I can look around and count. I don't have enough fingers and toes to count the things I need to do at my own house. But talk about content creation, like there's so much to be made. And that doesn't have to be for anybody else. So I have to remember to be able to say no and step back and just do something for me that makes me happy, that I enjoy. It's not all work.
Yeah.
See, and that's my issue. I don't do anything. I'm not kidding. Like, well, I shouldn't say anything, but I do very little for me because if it's not the job, it's the kids and stuff like that. And I love my kids, and I love the fact that I get to take them to work, or I get to take them to school every morning. I get to pick them up, and they come home, and I get a couple hours with them every day before the wife comes home. So I love that, but that's their time. It's not my time. And then by the end of the day, I'm so wrecked that I don't want to do it. Tired. All right, let's see. And Brandy's now works for regulatory compliance for insurance company, which is actually a good job if you work for insurance. Let's see, a different kind of stress. Every job just comes with a different kind of stress. Yeah. And she says here, makers usually expect perfection. And
Love that.
I think part of it is if you're going to start your own business, because I say this all the time, like when I started full-time content creation, I thought I was going to be in the shop more. I thought I was going to be, using my camera more and everything. And it's like, I have a lot of like Mondays. If I get out in the shop at all on Mondays, it's impressive because I have a bunch of tasks. Like I do all my paperwork and stuff on Mondays, and I have tasks that I have kind of scheduled for Mondays because like I want to go back and look over the weekend and that kind of stuff. So like a lot of times I'm sitting in front of my computer all day on Monday, and it's like I thought, like I would I would only do content or film content on the weekends, and then I would edit it on my lunch break at work. And I just so thought, oh man, I'm gonna be in the shop just like 24/7. I'm gonna be out there all the time. And I am in my office probably more than I'm in the shop. So I think it's just, you think, oh hey man, this is like now this is all I'm gonna do. And it's like, it's like you were saying, Jess, it's like all about the emails and the back and forth. And I have so like, and then like I don't know if you get all the BS deals, but I get these. It's like I will mention something, or I'll do a video on something on YouTube, like lasers for that matter. I get these weird companies I never heard of, like all the time emailing me like, oh hey, do you want to do do you want to like review our laser? And I'm like, never heard of you guys. Like, how do you guys? I'm scared of this thing.
I completely stopped responding to like random things or things that I'm not interested in. I think that was like kind of one thing, like going into this whole, maker and content creation thing, is that I don't want to just accept, freebies, tools, gadgets, whatever, just to get it for free. That seems really dumb. So unless it's something I'm interested in, like I just don't even respond. I'm just like, delete. I don't need that. Or I don't want to.
I think I was talking about this it was either at Workbenchcon or I was recently on Hot Mix. Maybe I was talking to him on Hot Mix. Like in the beginning, when people want to send you stuff, you're like, yeah. And now it's like, I don't want any more stuff. Like unless it's really beneficial, like you were saying, right? Or I've pretty much turned down. I would say I get diode laser offers daily now. And if there's not something innovative about it, then I turn them all down. I joke that I realized I had too many lasers when one day I picked up a laser to make space and set it on top of another laser because I had too many. But it's true. I mean, like, and then I gave like 5 or 6 lasers to a makerspace because I had a ton of lasers. But yeah, it's just like after a while, you just have too much. Like, there's a bunch of crap laying around that you won't use.
I might need to hit you up for a laser then.
I gotta start reviewing some more. Well, and that was the other thing that we were talking about on Hot Makes is, unless there is something innovative about it, all those diode lasers are basically the same thing. I mean, they may have a bell or whistle here and there, but after a while, I'm just saying the same thing. Oh, okay, well, here's the specs on the laser, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's not enjoyable content either. It's not enjoyable for me to make. And I mean, unless you're like a one-off viewer that just came to see like this particular laser, it's probably not like consumable wise. Like, you don't want to watch me do like build and review a different laser every week. Or I wouldn't want to,
but
yeah. Well, I don't think
your life.
Yeah, and I feel like I was doing that for quite a bit recently, and so that's I started turning down a lot more people because of that. Because I felt like I was just.
Did you see the little box that my daughter made in her class? She's 9. She's in 3rd grade, and they have a laser in her class. And so now her and my son are both like, "Can we get a laser? Like you have a 3D printer. I'm not talking laser. 3D printer. They have a 3D printer in their class." So
yes,
I'm like, I mean, everyone seems to have 3D printers now, but I'm like, I have a laser, I have a CNC, I have all this stuff, and it's like, no, we want a 3D printer now. I'm like, okay, cool. Another thing to learn.
But they're super cheap and they're super easy. So I have one sitting right here. The Ender 3 Pro Plus 2, or I don't know what it is. But I got it. I got it, and it was like, okay, so I put it together on a live stream because I wanted the help of the community, and then I was trying to film it too. It's set up so easy that I was like, well, I'm not gonna make a how to set this up or an unboxing out of this because it just goes together super easy. There's like 4 pieces, it snaps together. So then I went and I printed all the stuff you're supposed to print, and like I printed my little cube and it worked perfect, and then I printed my little bunny and it worked perfect, and then I printed my little this thing and it worked perfect, benchy, and I was like, okay, so my idea for the video became, let's see like the most difficult thing I can do being a complete noob, because they're idiot proof.
That's
crazy.
funny. I know Alyssa made she made like a snake thing, and it was all linked together, so it like the whole thing will like move. Yes, kind of like that. That looks like a dragon, though. Is that a dragon?
It is a dragon.
That looks like from
Nice.
Mulan.
But that was so fully articulated prints are a pain in the butt to do. So
She likes to like pick the little stuff off of it, though. She's like, she just wants to like crack all the like holder things off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, like I said, it's trying to get an angle on how to do a video on it was like, I'm like, it's too easy. It's too simple to like set up and do. I mean, I ran into a couple of hiccups, but they're easily fixable, not like real learning type moments. I mean, it's mentionable to somebody that had never used a 3D printer before, but it's crazy. Please. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not reading over here. If I would spend as much time actually using my laser and learning library as I do watching it, watching other people use lasers, yes. So Lightburn actually has a con that they're doing in Peoria, Illinois, that I might be going to just to pick up all the things.
Where?
Peoria, Illinois. It's right outside of Chicago.
Oh, that's too far.
It's closer than Atlanta.
It's still too far. You guys know I'm like nestled in my little corner here, having no idea about time zones or what time it is anywhere else.
It's true.
Pacific.
I was actually serious when I was like, wait, that's 6:30, and then I Googled it. I was like, what time is it Central Time right now? I was like, oh my gosh, I have like...
Oh, I legitimately thought you were joking.
I thought you were too, because there's no way you could have been 2 hours off and logged on. Like it would have been like the show would have been halfway over.
I know. Well, I good old Google, apparently it's Mountain Time and then Central Time, and one of these days I'll learn it and I won't be late anymore. I wasn't that late. I was like 2 minutes late today. Progress.
Robert, is it not right outside of? I thought Peoria was right outside of Illinois or Chicago. I mean, apparently, I'm filing something under alternative facts. Let's see. So I was gonna say, what laser are you getting? At a 1 Antia. Okay, so Peoria apparently is not right outside of Chicago.
I'm not watching the comments, so I don't know what's happening.
I said that it was right outside of. I said Peoria was right outside of Chicago, and I'm being told that I'm incorrect. All right. Oh, so let's see. What do we got going on? Chris, what are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm sitting here just having whiskey and enjoying life.
Thought you were getting bored up there, man.
Oh no, I just have to. I'm trying to get used to have my laptop on my lap and my webcam like in front of me. So I'm trying to. Yeah, it's just different. I'm new to this, Nick. Okay.
Sorry, man.
Stop looking down.
Can't help it. But the whiskey's over there though. It's right. Oh yeah. No, but I totally get the kind of whole work-life balance thing, because even like before I worked like I said earlier, 60 hours at a different job, and now I work 60 hours a week basically for myself. But it is different because I enjoy what I'm doing. But yeah, it's definitely hard. I've had to take a step back and kind of make sure that I like allot specific time for kids or a date night, because basically as soon as the kids get home from daycare or school, like spend a couple hours with the kids, put them to bed, and then a lot of nights it's back to the shop. Or so I definitely keep trying to find ways to make time with family, but it's hard when, yeah, like you said, Nick, it's all kind of all you think about.
I have a question
Yeah,
for both
it's
of you.
all right.
Yes.
I have a question.
Hold on. Do the face again.
I'll ask Chris first. So I have this like along that thought process of like trying to, you know, put aside time to like be with family and kids and do all those things. Do you still feel guilty taking a day to just do nothing for yourself? Like nothing for like making or your business?
Like just like a vacation day, basically.
So for instance, like we took the kids last weekend. It was it was the weekend after Workbenchcon, and we hadn't, you know, my kids were away from me for one extra day. They were with their dad for the weekend, but they were just like calling to me like all week long. So we decided to go to, you know, play putt-putt golf and go to the pump track and let them ride their bikes, and then get dinner. You know, we had a whole day of just like family time. And like, meanwhile, in the back of my head, my stresses and anxiety, I'm like, I feel bad doing that because I'm not getting anything done.
No, I haven't. I felt that way at first, and then I had to take a step back and realize that, like, just for me personally, that, you know, my time with the kids is limited, and family time is limited because I work so much. So I have to make a point of being in the moment. And like for me, because I was answering emails and messages and stuff like that, like I just had to like put the phone physically somewhere else, and just like not pick a specific day of that week that is just family time, and so I could shift my focus. Because otherwise, if I didn't shift my focus, then I was still constantly background problem solving and stressing about work. So that's what I had to do to overcome that. Because yeah, I felt guilty at first, because yeah, you know, you're thinking, yeah, I should be working, I gotta make money, gotta get this done. But yeah, then I had to kind of shift my focus and, yeah, spend time with family, because that's more important than my silly job.
I've actually thought about doing like a focus mode. I don't know if you guys are iPhone people, but doing like a focus mode for an hour a night or something, where it's like, I'm not going to get anything. My phone's not going to ping, not going to light up, not going to do anything, so that I can actually take that time. And I think it's like habitually, like I just am very responsive, and I want to be responsive because I'm still feel like I'm growing. But it's, yeah, I have to remind myself that that's not the most important thing.
Mine Do Not Disturb goes on at 6. Like
6?
Because the problem is, yeah, well, because I mean, for like obviously like my family and stuff can push through, but I turn it on because what I found was, one, I go in and check messages that I don't really need to be checking, like emails and stuff like that. And two, like a lot of times, like I feel, sorry, dogs. Like some coyotes just went nuts right outside, which is why the dog started barking. I thought it was a bunch of kids at first because they're all howling. Anyway, I did the squirrel. I just lost my train of thought. Oh, my Do Not Disturb, because.
Goes on at 6.
Huh?
Your focus mode goes on at 6.
Yes. Because what I would do is like I would check my I have a work email that doesn't do anything but work email stuff, right? There's no reason to check that after a certain time in the day. Like that shit can wait until tomorrow. I like to be accessible, but I don't want to be that accessible. Like I used to try to answer all that stuff and I used to check my comments like all night long and stuff like that, but it's just kind of like I found myself being kind of a little angry that somebody emailed me at like 7 at night, which, you know what, man, maybe they just got off work. Maybe they're in a different time zone. Like, you know, maybe they're in another country for that matter. So it's not really their fault and it's perfectly acceptable. And I would do that. I would email somebody and just expect them not to respond to me. If I emailed a business after hours, I would do that because I want to get it out of the way. And I would just, I wouldn't expect them to respond to me right away. But I found myself being kind of a little aggravated that I was having to answer emails at 7, 8 at night. And I'm like, well, I'm doing that to myself. Like, I don't have to answer these emails right now. These can wait until morning. And I set aside time in the morning to answer fucking emails. So it just became a point where like my phone goes on like partial shutdown and it goes on to like bedtime mode at like 9:30 and dims everything out. And I just don't mess with it most often.
I like it.
Nice.
I think I should adopt some of this in my own life. It might make me less stressed.
Well, you're going down the same road that I was going down, which was I want to be responsive. And then, I mean, like, I don't know if you went to the class where they were talking about shorts and like when figuring out what time to do them and all that stuff on Instagram and how like you need to respond, like when you post something, like you want to make yourself available for at least 15 minutes after that post, because if anybody responds to you and you respond back, it bumps your engagement way up.
Yeah.
And I used to like just stress on all of that all the time. And then it's like, after a while, it's like, you just got to let some of that go. Now, granted, that is good advice. But I used to think if anybody like sent me a message that I needed to respond to that, like I didn't want to leave them hanging. And it's like, you know what? I have people that don't respond to me for like 3 days.
True.
So
it's very true.
You know, I mean, the fact that it might take like what 8-10 hours before I respond to you.
But you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am like, I've actually started becoming more of like a notification person, which I hate like having the notification bubble like on my phone for anything, like emails, Instagram, like anything. So I started like shutting them off. And then I actually, maybe this is a tip for people, don't open a message if you're not mentally prepared to respond to the message.
Right.
You can see who is sending you a message and be like, you know, is this like work related? Is this like a friendship related? Is this like a content thing? Is this whatever? But you can kind of get an idea by who's messaging you and, you know, what that's going to take for you to respond to that. So I stopped opening messages until I'm actually physically and emotionally and mentally ready to respond to that message, because otherwise I forget too. So
I would also say don't be afraid of the mark as not read button. You know, like I've read an email before and been like, shit, you know, like now I got to respond to it. And you don't, just mark it as not read and go back and read it the next day, you know, which I've had to do with a lot of, I'll get people that send me questions that are super vague. And it's like, now I have to ask you 10 questions so I can figure out a way to formulate an answer for your first one because you didn't give me enough information. And that is like, that's mentally exhausting to me, is to try to ask, like this involves lasers, like I want to, you know, power speed and stuff like that. But like, I want to try to ask all the questions I need to answer your first question. And I don't want to do that, you know, at 8 at night or something like that. So that's when you mark it.
Can you do like an auto response?
What do you mean?
I don't know. People do like auto responses. Like, did you tell me all the information I need to like answer your
See,
I
yeah,
mean,
but see, like
so suck.
I like I like my messages to be like genuine, right? Like, so I don't want to send somebody like a canned thing if I could avoid it. It's a good idea, but the problem is too, like, if people are all over the place when they ask a question like that, so it'd be something that I have to go piecemeal together anyway. Anyways, I mean, it's just like I said. So now what I do is I mark that as unread, and then I'll deal with them the next day when I can sit down and actually like think about it, have a cup of coffee, and not stress about it while I'm trying to watch Shameless.
I love Shameless.
I love Shameless.
So good.
Brandy asked if I have all this on my phone. Yeah, I have. So I tried for the longest time to have business stuff only on my computer and my iPad, and I wasn't going to have it on my phone. But the problem is when I travel, my phone is the only thing that like can reliably connect everywhere. So yeah, so my work email is on my phone. Yeah, no shit. I mean, seriously, yeah. Don't like, and if you have the like,
okay. Maybe I didn't mean like an auto message, but like maybe have something in like your notes that you could copy and paste and be like, hey, can you give me XYZ more information? Then it's not an auto response, but it's already typed out.
But honestly, honestly, I'd rather personalize it the next day than send somebody like something that's a little bit more canned the night before. I don't know. I've made it a point to try to respond to every email, every DM, and every comment that I get everywhere, unless they're completely ignorant. And I just always I've said that I will do that until I can't do that anymore. Until it's so overwhelming that I just do not have time to respond. I feel like that's kind of the difference between YouTube and watching This Old House or something, right? Like you can actually ask the person that you just saw do something follow-up questions.
Yeah.
That's actually not a bad idea. Jack's like, all help requests must go through an HTML form. So this is the thing, man. Like Rich, LA hobby guy, he charges $75 an hour to help people fix their problems. Like he's got a helpline, and you go sign up and stuff like that. Now he has a better a more far-reaching knowledge. He's more well-rounded when it comes to lasers, to where and a little bit more technical, to where he can probably troubleshoot something easier on the phone than I could. But like the idea of charging somebody money for the knowledge in my head seems weird, even though I probably should.
Definitely could.
A Google form and have them fill it out. So, well, the problem is, Robert, like you can get at me too many different ways. Like you can DM me on Instagram. It's not. There's no form that exists in one place, or I would try to do something like that. It's like if you want to email me, like my email is
What the heck?
Chris!
What happened?
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
It's going fine. Where'd Nick go?
Us.
There's Nick.
Sorry.
Whoa.
I don't know what they clicked. All of a sudden, I went back to the first part of the StreamYard.
It just got really, really quiet in here because you weren't here.
Caught me off guard.
It's weird. It's weird.
Chris and I look at each other like, what just happened?
You mean we're gonna talk? I do think it's about time to wrap up. But I just any last minute questions or anything? I feel like we should have. It's been extra stressful over here the last couple of weeks, and so I haven't had as much time to ask the questions ahead of time and stuff like that. I did not ghost you. Did not ghost you. Not. Came right back. I went out to get that gallon of milk, and I came back. God damn it. Yeah, right. Brandy says someone got pissed that Nick didn't send a read receipt and kick it right off. Yeah, turn all those things off, man. Those are crazy. Yeah, so what do you guys said what you're working on. Anything you guys want to shout out or anything like that? What's up? What's up, Clack Shack? I need chickens? I don't want chickens, man. Well, okay, so actually I really want chickens. We can't have chickens in the neighborhood. The HOA like specifically says like no livestock. And then it's
chickens.
Like,
I have great audio that I'm going to use if you follow me on Instagram.
Oh, so follow Jesse on Instagram.
Nice.
No, did I last time we did our live, had I delivered the record cabinet yet?
I think you just finished it. I don't think you had delivered it.
No, because I finished it and they were on vacation for like 2 weeks in Hawaii. I was like, that sounds lovely. It's gone.
Nice.
That's my big announcement for the night. The record cabinet is out of my shop, and I still have not posted a reveal video because I suck.
All right then.
It's fine.
So Clack Shack says that you just got to watch chickens. It's relaxing. And I've always just been warned about chicken now, because apparently, like, you buy 1 or 2 chickens, and the next thing you know, you've got like 45 fucking chickens. I don't know how that happens, but apparently, chicken math is real.
They're like little dinosaurs running around. They're really cute.
Little dinosaurs.
They are.
They're cute when they're little, and then they grow up and they get like ugly fast. My dad has 60,000 of the things, so I don't find watching chickens relaxing.
All right, you may have one up on the clock there.
Yeah.
So Robert says they have horses behind their house. So this is how Houston is. I live in the suburbs. There is cows, right? Like I live in a development. There's cows right there. I was sitting up here in the office one day, and I kept thinking that my phone was vibrating. It was the cows mooing, because I think my phone would vibrate. I pick it up and look at it, and nothing was there. Cows are over there. And then so when it gets cold, the coyotes come over here, and they come with their babies, and then there's coyotes that are just fighting over there. It's crazy. I live like right outside the city limits, but I live in a neighborhood. I don't live out in the middle of nowhere, and that's Houston for you. Like you'll just be driving by like house downtown, they'll have a horse in the fucking backyard. You gotta set limits, man. 60,000. It's shooting too high, man.
Yeah.
All right, are we good? How Fluffy? Wait. What did I just do? How does Fluffy not eat the chickens? Who's Fluffy? I'm all right. Well, let's see. So next, I think my next video is the 3D printer. I think something didn't come up, so that's what we're working on. But the 20 watt versus the 40 watt Xtel D1 video comes out tomorrow at 11 Central Time, Jesse. Central Time.
So
it's like 9 your time. I'm sorry you were like 9:30.
I'm going.
All right, guys. Everybody, thanks for playing. We're getting out of hand now. I'm gonna end this bad boy here. Clock Shack's cat is named Fluffy, by the way. And good night, guys. Thanks for coming out, and thanks for playing. Bye.